Good evening, America. This is the Modern Conservative Podcast, and I am your host, Jon Harvey. Yeah, I dropped the Jonathan because it sounds too much like plantation. So I'm just going to go with Jon Harvey. We had technical difficulties, and I have to tell you, since I moved from my home studio to a freestanding studio, I've had nothing but problems every single show. Luckily, Mike saves my bacon every single time because, I thought I knew a lot about technology. Well, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I learn I don't know crap. And I can take that. I can accept that because, I don't claim to know everything. And when I think I know everything, I find out how often I am wrong. Before we get any further into tonight's content, which is mostly, it's not necessarily going to be about politics. It's going to be more of about what's coming up in the next few months here in Utah for as events that we're putting together. I run an organization with others, great leaders, such as C.A.F.E, Conservative Americans for Equality. C.A.F.E started originally, well, for a lot of you that are listening to me right now, and I don't think there's a lot listening because it's not getting shared like it's supposed to be, and I want to speak on that a little later in the conversation. But, I used to be the state director of BLEXIT, and with some really good leaders, Jamie Renda, Jamie Wadman, Dr. Gary Thompson, Kerry Bartholomew, and Adam Bartholomew was basically a good friend of BLEXIT. Lucy Scherer, I'm not even going to try it because I do not want to butcher her name, but Lucy, and we did good things as BLEXIT. But the problem with BLEXIT was, you're supposed to be nonpartisan because we're a 501c3. And for those of you who know me, I'm not nonpartisan by any stretch of the imagination. And myself and others, we got tired of faking it. So, and plus, they were handcuffed us on some things that we wanted to do, and we didn't have our own autonomy. So we had contemplated for a long period of time of just stepping down and rebranding what we do. So here we are now, and that's what we had done. C.A.F.E, Conservative Americans for Equality. It allows us to be who we actually really are. I get to say what I want to say it where I want to say it. I can accept anybody in our organization that we choose to have in our organization. So it doesn't matter if you're gay, black, straight, lesbian. It doesn't even matter if you're a Democrat. Now, we practice, and I've learned some things lately which is you can be a Democrat and have conservative values. Like, for example, back in the day, black conservatives at times were Democrats before they ever got the branding of the Democrat Party. I'm not going to talk much about history today because I want to talk about something that's really good. So C.A.F.E, we founded C.A.F.E, we launched it, did a soft launch, still doing things in the community up at the Capitol, up at the Marshall White Center, helping Marcus in his group, which is called Unified Development, trying to, help out where we can. Mind you, we were still a new organization. But coming December 10th, C.A.F.E is launching our hard launch. We're doing Coats for Kids with the aid of Coats for Kids, which is another friend of mine, Jason Coates. He started this program, and it's a great program. It's where we give out coats to families where children are unfortunately not financially well-resourced, to put it that way. And we like to help with toys as well. And we thought maybe we'd just join up with Jason. He's a friend of mine. He became a friend of mine last year because we did another event last year with BLEXIT where we gave away a lot of coats. We went to the Boy Scouts and the Boy Scouts well, actually now let me get it right because I need to be political correct with this. The Boys and Girl Scouts, we went down and donated coats. Now, I could be wrong on the name, but who knows because it changed so much. We donated probably 130, 140 coats to children. And this year we want to top that. So the gist of this conversation tonight is an invite. This is an invite for all you people who want to get involved, who want to have a good time. And I just might sing karaoke. And I do not sing for anybody outside of my shower. That's how important this event is to me. I'm willing to make myself look like a damn fool, but I'll do it. But this is an invite for everybody to come down and join us. Bring a toy, bring a coat, or bring nothing. Just bring yourself. You know, we're going to have some pretty good guests there. You know, like I said, it's not going to be a long talk about politics. It's not going to be a long talk about this or that. It's about what we are doing for our community and showing the rest of the state and in some cases the rest of the country what C.A.F.E is really doing and what we're all about. It's not about bringing in big names to draw people in to the event. It's about bringing the event in itself should bring in people because, look, we had a hard 22 months. We've had a hard 22 months. They've came after black, white, yellow, brown, but most importantly, our children. Let's show and represent how we really care about kids. The true way of caring about kids and doing things for children that, like I said, that are unfortunate to have, you know, funds that where they can all get a coat every single year or, you know, a great Christmas or a great Thanksgiving. You know, we can't do much for Thanksgiving because, you know, it's a little too late for us as far as getting donations, getting volunteers. Now, speaking of volunteers, we are looking for volunteers. We really are looking for volunteers. So you can email us at cafeorg@gmail.com. cafeorg@gmail.com and send an email and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer on December 10th. The event starts at 6 o'clock, but we want people there around 4:30, 5 o'clock to help do setup. So we're not setting things up during event time because we really want to just enjoy the 2 hours of event time without a lot of distractions as far as setting up. Help serve food, the things that a good event or a good venue needs to bring out a positive outcome. Like I said, no politics. Now, you still can wear your FJB shirts. You still can wear your Modern Conservative podcast gear right here. You still can wear anything you want. We don't care because no matter where you are, free expression is always welcome at an event that we provide. And you do not have to be a conservative or Republican to receive goodwill. This is for any family under the scope of we need help. Don't be ashamed. We've all been there. Look, I haven't always been, able to, put food on my table consistently every day. I was young once, and stupid. Okay, some would differ. I still might be a little stupid, but just a little. But I'm smart enough to know we need to do some things for our kids and to help families and put ourselves aside and let's not be selfish and say, well, John and those guys at C.A.F.E, and they'll take care of it. No, we need your bodies there. When you're there, the kids know there's a lot of people that love them outside their mom and dads. There's a lot of people that put it on the line for them outside of their mom and dads. We just need mom and dads to bring their children so they can see the representation of the love that we have for our kids. We just don't fight for kids up at the Capitol. We fight for kids on the home front. And at times, the fight gets sad. Sometimes you think, are we going to win this fight? Because there's so many people pushing against us. But on this particular day, on December 10th, with C.A.F.E and other sponsors, we'll show the kids, times may be tough, but we'll do every damn thing we can where you don't feel the realization of how tough it really is. Just be a kid. And that's what it's all about. It's just about being a kid. So December 10th at the Woods Cross High School, the event starts at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Volunteers, we would like to have you there, around 4:30, 5 o'clock. If you want to be a volunteer, you can message us at cafeorg@gmail.com, or you can message me on the modernconservativepodcast.com. That's my website. Yes, I'm part of both of them, but either way, you can go on the website and email info@themodernconservativepodcast.com and send an email there as well and say, hey, look, John, I like to be a volunteer. I like to help out. I like to donate. You can donate as well. So if you can't be there, you still can donate at cafeorg.com and be part of the event without being there. And you'll know by the event, we are doing good things with your money. If there's anything left over, that goes to the next event. We want to keep this perpetual. We don't want to stop what we're doing because this is what we truly believe in. We don't make money doing this. None of us make any money. As a matter of fact, a lot of us give up our time and money as well as putting on this event just so we can make sure this event goes on. If you walk into a store and you see a donation box from C.A.F.E, donate. At the same time, there will be a toy box there. So if you don't have a toy, donate to the cause. I promise you, we will not let your funds go to waste. So I just want to get that out there and speak on that for a little bit before I move on to my next topic, which, speaking of my next topic, Donald Trump has announced that he's running for president. Now, I like Donald Trump. Let's not make no mistake about it. But my question is to the rest of the country, even Donald Trump is not going to be enough. Nor will DeSantis be enough to change what's going on in the country. We've got to change it because let me give you an example. Half of America have shown us how ignorant they really are. Half of America have shown us how their own self-interest no longer matters. Half of America completely turned on their families and friends when they kept a large element of the Democrat Party in play. You would have thought that half of America would have said, you know what, I am a straight Democrat, but if it takes voting for a Republican to get us out of this mess that my family is in right now, I'm going to do that. That didn't happen. There are so many people out there who say, you know what, I don't care about my self-interest. I just care about keeping the Democratic Party in play. And that's what they did. They kept the Democrats in play. Now, I had mentioned a few days ago on an earlier show that for a lot of people, their self-interest is to keep the Democrats in play so they can keep getting the entitlements that the Democrat Party gives to them as crumbs, like they're some kind of circus animal. So back to Donald Trump and DeSantis, it's not going to change much because those Democrats that voted for Republicans this time will go back to the Democratic Party. And the reason is they're going to bring in somebody like Gavin Newsom, someone they can relate to. And this is what keeps them in the Democrat Party. People like Nancy Pelosi. These people really can relate to Pelosi. Even though she's nutty as hell, they can relate to her. They can't relate to Joe Biden because Joe Biden is costing them money and making life hard. But once they get rid of Joe Biden and bring in a Gavin Newsom or a Hogle. Hell, you never know. Cuomo may run for president of the United States. You never know. But those Democrats will go back to the Democrat Party because they think they would be a safer bet than Joe Biden and his administration. It's not going to change much. We're going to have a bigger fight, and the fight is going to be between DeSantis and Trump. Mark my words. You will have a battle of name calling. I'm better than you. One guy pushing that, hey, look, I come out with the vaccines in 9 months, which has never been done. And with that, when he says that, it kind of chaps my ass because I say to myself, why would you say that? And that's one of Candace Owens' beef is as well. Okay, you came out with the vaccine in 9 months. It doesn't mean it was a great vaccine. Doesn't mean it did anything. It did absolutely nothing. My opinion is simply this. You were just as good as without the vaccine as you were with the vaccine. And that's proven. I know somebody right now who's gotten COVID 5 times, literally 4 or 5 times, and had every jab you can get. I mean, at some point in time, we've got to go to the control studies, which they have never done until recently. In the very beginning, there were no control studies. It was just, once you get the jab, you don't have to worry about getting infected. Well, we know that's a lie now. We know that's a lie. But yeah, we know that's a lie, and you subject people to getting vaccinated with something that they didn't know what was going in their body, but yet those same dumbasses voted for the administration that pushed it onto the people. By the way, when you come to the event on the 10th, you don't have to wear a mask. And I'm hoping there's a lot of people there. I'll be honest with you, we're hoping there's a great turnout. Representation of great families and friends just trying to have a time to do stuff for our kids. But so this thing with Trump and DeSantis, it's going to be really interesting. My understanding is Nikki Haley may be running. Is that a good idea? Nikki didn't do too well the first time she ran. I don't know what's going to happen this time around, but, she was a great governor for South Carolina. But this all remains to be seen because the Democrats will tear each other apart. The Republicans will tear themselves apart by some of the stupidest things they can think of while the Democrats are building their strategy. See, Republicans don't have strategies. We don't have a strategy. And I say we only because what I believe in is close to what the Republican Party used to represent. They don't really represent what I believe any longer, for the most part, because a lot of those guys are dirtbags just as well. When Kevin McCarthy announced that he was going to be the new Speaker of the House, I said to myself, wrong guy. Well, we already know he's the wrong guy. But this is what Republicans do. They know he's the wrong guy, but they vote the wrong guy in. This is why the Republican Party is weak. Because when they have a weak link, they do not replace that link. They'll drive that link until the wheels fall off. It should have been Jim Jordan or Chip Roy or Andy Biggs, someone who has a voice, someone who's not trying to play the game and be part of the elitist group of politicians in Washington, D.C. And I didn't say elitist group of Republicans. I said an elitist group of politicians. That means with the Democrats and other Republicans, because there's no such thing anymore as a true Republican Party. It's more like the Unification Party or the Unified Party. They get together, they go in chamber, and they make these deals, and either we win or we lose. And when it comes to the Republican Party, we most likely will lose because they don't have the fight. They do not have the fight to stay in power. I guarantee you one thing's going to happen with this new Congress. In the next 2 years, they will be some of the weakest cowards that we've ever heard or seen in our lives, because we know that there's a lot of people that should be in jail. We know this. We know there should be a lot of people in jail. I dare say not one politician will go to jail. Oh, they'll have all the hearings all day, every day. C-SPAN, CNN, Fox News, ABC, NBC. They have all the dog and pony show. But nobody will go to jail. It's always the case. Nobody will go to jail. Let's give good optics. Let's make it look like we're on a headhunt for the truth. But nobody will go to jail. Fauci, for example, will not go to jail. Pelosi will not go to jail. Adam Schiff will not go to jail. Blake Moore will not go to jail. You're going to say, what about Blake Moore? Yes, he's a Utah congressman. But he made so much money on his stocks, more than he's ever made when he was in private sector. How is that? How is that possible? It's called inside trading. They know something, and they're privy to something that you are not allowed to have. And if we do have it, we go to jail. We go to jail. Now, the things that I'm telling you right now, they're nothing new. You may not have heard of it because that's one thing we call the media. Sometimes you have to have a VPN and go offshore to see what's going on in your own country, because a lot of the media in your own country are pulling the wool over your eyes. So when they have all these hearings, remember this conversation, because this is what we're having, a conversation. Remember this conversation. We will not have change in the United States Congress when it comes to what's right and what's wrong. We will have the same dirtbags doing the same damn thing that the Republicans or the Democrats were doing, but now will be doing it under the disguise of being Republicans. You know, I just think it's time that we, the people, like I mentioned the other night, we've got to do a better job of doing our job as you know, as voters and citizens. Just being a citizen isn't enough anymore. And we have to take it for what we see. We have to look at this thing as if, you know what, this is our life. And we're allowing the wrong people to control it. We really are. And you can fix it by voting. Until the next election, which is 2 years away, you'll still hear me talking about and trying to get people out to vote and do what they need to be doing. Yes, I've got a fantastic organization. We have a great organization. I have a great podcast. I have a great platform. That's still not enough. That's still not enough. My organizations that and my members, the point of the organization is get people in tune to what's going on in this country. If I had the money and could start my own media network, I would do so. Unfortunately, we're stuck with what we have as far as the media. But what we can do, we can create little pockets here or there of getting information out to the public and our people. The thing is this, though. You have to help spread the message. If you truly believe in an alternative media and in a media source to reach other conservatives who are living in the dark, that's where you come in. I can't do this by myself, just like I can't have an event without people contributing to the event. I speak up at the Capitol because I speak not just for me, I speak for us. See, I'm all about the fight. And I don't mean bang, 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 bare knuckles and crap like that. I mean a fight that articulates what we need to have done in this country as citizens. I've said it many, 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 many times. It's just not good enough anymore to be a citizen. It's not good enough anymore. It's not good enough to be a conservative. It's not good enough to be a Republican. Hell, it's no longer good enough to be just a Democrat. You've got to have cohesion now. We've got to figure out how to bring everybody together under the same, I almost said a rainbow, under the same tent, and share thoughts on how do we do this without pushing against each other. December 10th is one of those moments. It's where we can come together, have fun, bring your children, and watch something happen. Democrat kids will play with conservative kids and Republican kids, and they won't know the difference. You know how they know the difference? It's when we teach them there is a difference. That night is not for that. It is not political. I don't give a damn if you're a Democrat. If you want to walk in there with the I love Joe Biden shirt on, bring it. Because I probably will have my own shirt on saying, I love my God. It's not about political at all. And once you watch your children play with kids who don't know the difference between Republicans and Democrats, they're just being kids. That is one of the best gifts that I can receive when it comes to my kids or my daughter. Look, my daughter's conservative, but she doesn't take it to the playground. She doesn't walk out to say, I'm a better Democrat than you are a Republican. No, she doesn't do that. She just plays with everybody. And that means we can have our different point of views, but we should be able to get along just like our kids and stop acting like kids when we're adults and fighting over the things that we're not always going to agree on. So I believe you got to take a point of commonalities, and then you work from that point, what we have in common. Because if you work only on what the difference are, we're going to be fighting all the time. Because your ego will stop you from saying, you know what, I'm going to tap out and I'm going to take it a different direction and work in harmony with you rather than work against you. And that's how we work in this country so far. And this is how we get division. That somewhere we've got to start to realize how to bring everything together. If I had my choice, to be honest with you, there wouldn't be. Now, I used to not think this way. I used to think you have to have two parties because you have to have one to check the other. But here's a problem within our country. They're actually working together. They're now working together. They'll tell you to your face, we're a strong conservative, we worship the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. Well, Mitt Romney has proven that's not true. Spencer Cox has proven that's not true. Mitch McConnell has proven that that's not true. Now, I'm speaking only of Democrats. Ben Sasse has proven that's not true. Those are Republicans, and there are more of them that say, why should the Democrats make all the money? Hell, let me join the party. And as long as there's money to be made with politicians, you will never, ever, ever have a politician that's true to his constituents. You remember the old adage, money is the root of all evil? Never forget that. Never forget that. Never forget that. When there's a carjacking involved, it's because of something of value that costs money. When there's a bank robbery, because there's something of value, it's called money inside of the bank. When people murder people for insurance policies, whether it's your spouse or whoever, it's because there's money involved. When you think of all the things that people go to prison for, it all rolls back to money. And when it comes to politicians, I've often stated, not all crooks are in prison. You should always remember that. Not all crooks are in prison. And I will simply say this too. Your freedom doesn't mean shit to people who want power, because they want that power over you by taking your freedom. You should never, ever forget that. Never forget that. Money is the root of all evil. But we at C.A.F.E and other organizations in this state, We try to use money to do something positive with. None of us make any money doing what we love. We don't make any money. We don't get a high salary. There's none of that. Our payment is the work that we do. Because at least when we die and go to heaven, we can stand before God and say, hey, look, boss, we weren't perfect, but we did the best we could with what we had to work with. And then he can say, I know, John, I should have got rid of those Democrats a long time ago. But anyway, I want to cut tonight short because we started so late. I apologize for running so late. Technical difficulties, and sometimes it happens. So I just want to get this message out tonight. I know it's the middle of the week. And I wanted people to get an early notice that what's coming on December 10th, it's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. And just if you want to see me make an ass of myself trying to sing, hey, I'll take it if it gets you to the door. But I want to close this show. I got about 45 seconds left. Please get involved. Somehow or another, get involved. Do the people's work when the people that we send to office won't do it for us. Let's do the damn thing together. We don't have to fight with bullets. We don't have to fight each other with foul language. We don't have to fight each other with knuckles. We fight each other with the Constitution. And if you're fighting for the same Constitution, both sides will win. So on that note, please come join us on December 10th. Look me up on the modernconservativepodcast.com. Look at the merchandise. Buy something, please. Subscribe to the YouTube. Share the message. That is how we get around what the politicians do. We start doing it ourselves and quit relying on everybody else. We've got to start relying on the government. We've got to start relying on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS. We've got to do it ourselves. And you can start tonight by sharing the event, sharing all the content that we have, and other organizations as well. Because we work with a lot of organizations like UPU, Carlos Moreno and his group. Share the content. When you share content, we all grow. Not just me and my platform, but we all grow because our message will be spread throughout this country. My name is Jon Harvey. I'm the host of the Modern Conservative Podcast. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Good night, America. Love you all.